Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 18 of my Forex trading journey. And yes, day 17 was most definitely the shortest video I've ever done, about 7 minutes. That's a far cry from the, of course, hour, 2 hours, right around where we normally do these particular videos. And by the way, right now our sell arrow closed, or sell arrow candle closed. So I'm just gonna close this buy trade that I have, so that again, I talked about this before when we have done this. In order to execute a sell trade by closing a buy trade in our hedging system that we're doing, this allows us to essentially place a sell trade in the mix. So we've gone ahead and we've closed that sell trade right now. And now, I'm sorry, that buy trade. And now we have a sell trade in place. And yes, yesterday was definitely one of my more interesting days. I didn't necessarily see an opportunity as we just take a look at the four pairs that I'm testing out on the 15-minute time frame, and understanding that we had that short of a video, that there weren't necessarily many opportunities, or really there was one opportunity I remember correctly with platinum. We were able to grab before we had to close that trade. And because we didn't see much of anything else, that does give us a question if, again, as we keep testing these particular strategies, as we look for the best one that will give us the best opportunities with the best chance to win successfully, it's all about just moving forward in the right direction. We have to understand that even though that day was short and didn't have much for us to go, it is going to help us move forward in the right direction, in a sense that it's going to help us make sure, okay, how do we refine the strategy even further to prove that there is a longer success term when it comes to this particular strategy that we're testing. And again, this is why we do this on the demo account. And by the way, that candle just moved over to the next, I'm sorry, that arrow moved over to the next candle. So depending on what happens in the next 12 minutes, that could either be another sell opportunity. But again, we have to make sure that the candle stays right where it is so that we are able to move forward. So we have this in the mix right now. So we have right now the down arrow moving over to the next candle. We're waiting about for 12.5 minutes for that to close. So in the meantime, what I wanted to talk about today, and by the way, just to give a quick analysis, because I do believe it's important, that I just kind of make sure everyone understands, okay, why did we take this trade? Was it just because of the arrow? Well, no, I do understand that there is a significant downtrend that is playing right now. I do also understand that we have a couple of resistances. In fact, I'm just eyeing one right here. I'm eyeing this particular resistance right here that, if price were to go ahead and break that particular point, that might change our particular direction. So in a matter of speaking, we're just going ahead and we're letting the trade play out. And again, we're testing these to make sure that we understand what strategy is going to help us best move forward. And we're going to be able to do that and experiment on that together. So coming back now to what I wanted to talk about yesterday, but didn't necessarily get a chance to talk about it, I want to go over my next book that I read after Unshakable. And of course, we'll come back to Unshakable and some of the concepts in there and really do a deep dive on them as the opportunities present themselves. But in the meantime, I want to go and through the next book that I took a look at. And that particular book was Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And just to recap specifically who David Goggins is, he is a former Navy SEAL. He's retired. And through that experience, he went ahead and he did all these incredible marathons. He's currently fighting, or is currently a firefighter, if I'm not mistaken, or if not, he's retired. But that is essentially who David Goggins is. And as a matter of speaking, as a matter of speaking on what he has done in the past, when you read his particular story, you realize, whoa, he went through a lot of turmoil in his life. And within that turmoil, he was able to go ahead and build up great strength in order to allow him to do the things that he desired to do. And that's going to be very important. I do believe this is another very important book that us as Forex traders have to understand, because as we move through this particular journey, we understand that there were great days, there were bad days, and then now it's a matter of, okay, how do we process everything so that we can go ahead and keep the momentum going to where we're not quitting on ourselves. We're not quitting on this particular journey. But what are some of the things that we can learn from this book that could help us move forward in the right direction? So the first thing I want to do is definitely want to talk about the book. And really, what we want to understand is that this journey of ours, even though we're doing this together, it's also a very solo journey. Now, what do I mean by that? Because that is just like, you just said we're doing this together, but yet it's a solo journey. What what does that mean? Well, we have to think of it like this, right? I am not ever, ever, ever going to tell you what to do. Think about that. I am never going to tell you to follow or take or command you to take the trades that I am taking. Most of this endeavor is your own responsibility to do. And we talked about responsibility before and how powerful it is to be in full control of your accounts. Now, with that being said, even though we're collectively looking at, what I'm doing, what I'm testing, what I'm trading on, and even though I'm taking these trades, I am not the one that will ever say, okay, take these trades along with me. You have full power to follow me, of course. You have full power to go ahead and take the trades that I am taking right now if you would like, but I would never go ahead, but I would never say, okay, you have to take this trade. You have to follow me. That is all up to your discretion. And I very much clearly stated my disclaimer that is the sole responsibility of the user to take the trades that would guide their trading account in one direction or another. So that's what I mean by, even though we're doing this together, it's also at the same time important to realize that you are on your own solo mission. You're on your own solo path. So let me bring up this situation, right? You are in danger of living a life so, and it's going to sound weird, but so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. Now, I'm not saying that life is easy. I am not saying that your life circumstances are easy. Of course, if you've been watching these videos from, again, day 1 to about day 16, 17, which, by the way, very, very, very grateful for that you are still on this journey, considering that day 17 was short. And we are also, we started out the week on day 15, where I went ahead and I blew that particular account. Everyone saw that live, or not live, but my recorded stream. They saw that that account was completely blown. And if you are still here, even after all that, then that truly means that you really want to know what this Forex market is about. And at the same time, you are also tired of living the same way that you have been living. And that's what I mean more so by comfortable and soft, just understanding or just living in what you are quote unquote used to, and not necessarily willing to make the tough changes to move forward in the right direction. So that so the danger is that you would die without ever realizing your true potential. So this right here is the potential that I am testing. A, the Forex market and becoming successful at it. B, creating the podcast. Again, this is my example, but take it for what that true potential means to you, creating a podcast where we document this Forex trading journey, and C, being able to coach and teach things that I have had to learn myself and that I'm still learning. Again, the true definition, in my opinion, of a teacher or even a coach is the student master energy being in balance with one another. So that's the situation that we find ourselves in. Now, the mission is to unshackle your mind, ditch the victim's mentality forever, own all aspects of your life completely, and build an unbreakable foundation. So it's really funny when we think about it, right? That unbreakable and unshakable are of the same meaning, very similar meaning, just spoken in two different words, right? So our mind that's been shackled by our pre-conditioned living. So, we talk about, some of the programming that we've had as, going back from a kid in elementary school. I think that's really where that programming started, going all the way from elementary school to middle school to high school to wherever we find ourselves right now. We've been we had these certain programmed conditions, these certain mind conditioning to an extent, and we've been shackled to those particular beliefs. And for me, for example, just to give one particular shackling of my mind, there were times where, and I still find myself battling. So I'm not necessarily saying that I am all the way there, but I've come to realize that for a lot of my life, I was doing things to be a people pleaser. I was doing a lot of, not necessarily following my own lamp in a sense, not following my own direction. I was just more so following the people that I deemed were the leaders. And it's a very sobering concept to understand, where to admit where your faults lie, where your weaknesses lie. And it's okay to admit that to yourself that you've been doing that, but then also taking the steps to work out what it is that you truly want to do now. So again, no one told me to make this podcast. No one told me to, take trades in this strategy. No one told me to coach in this manner. No, this is more so me just following what I truly want to do in life. This is truly what I am working towards. And another thing is what I like to call thing that shackled my mind is that I was worried about making this podcast because I wanted everything to be perfect. I needed the perfect strategy to teach the audience exactly what to do, and we're only going to have wins, and we're not going to we're never going to make a mistake on here. And that was another thing that kept this podcast from being created for a little bit. And as we could see, there have been mistakes on this journey so far. And yet here we are still doing the things that are needed in order to improve, in order to, okay, that did happen, but that's not the end of the world. What could we do better to make sure that, the next something like that doesn't happen again on our journey, where we don't have to record that again? And I think that's so powerful, right? And we're going to go off on this tangent, then we're going to come back to the book. But if we think about it like this, what we're doing, or what I'm doing, is I'm creating my own video. And this is a very important thing. And we are going to talk about this a lot more in detail later. But what I'm essentially doing, get my notepad here, is that I am creating a video trading journal log. Because if you really think about it, we have been at this point recording each and every trade that I took. Now, whether that was, you were able to see me on this recording actually press the button, or if I had to go ahead and do that off screen for one reason or another, you've been able to see so far specifically what trades I've been getting into, the purpose for getting in these trades, and understanding if that was the right strategy to take, the wrong strategy to take, and through that, evaluating what we're doing as a collective or in total, and how we can go ahead and become even better. Let me get into the sell, as we saw right there. So that right there is what I mean by making sure that my mind is unshackled bit by bit, that I'm doing this without the approval of anybody. I am doing this without the worry of being perfect, without the worry of, understanding that there could be mistakes along this path, and I'm not afraid to make those mistakes. And if that's something that we can go ahead and take in, maybe this is not necessarily your maybe my own unshackling is not, or my own shackle beliefs are not what you're struggling with right now. But if you're able to identify what those are and work towards getting those beliefs unshackled, and you don't have to do it all at once, right? We talk about Kaizen, one step at a time, one day at a time, one brick at a time. If you're able to do that, imagine what then that true potential, as we discussed a little bit earlier, imagine what that true potential could be for you. Ditch the victim's mentality forever. And it is very easy to fall into that victim's mentality. I've been there more than once, essentially blaming the circumstances I have fallen myself under without actually taking a look at the person in the mirror and realize, hey, you're the guy that could change it all, not anybody else. The government's not saving us. My family certainly does not need to bear the responsibility of saving me. My friends do not need to bear the responsibility of saving me. I am the only one that is really in full control if myself is going to be saved or not. And while it's a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, it's also a powerful pill to swallow, to understand that you at the end of it all, circumstances be damned, that you are the one in full control of the decisions that you make in life. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's all you. It's just like trading. You have the power for every decision that you make, and you will need to live with those particular with those particular results. Own all aspects of your life completely, build an unbreakable foundation. So here we are, owning the aspect of trading. Here I am owning the aspect of control, or being in full control of my podcast, in full control of me as a coach, right? And it's powerful to understand that I am in the one in control of all these things. And, it's just a microcosm of what you could also control beyond just what we're doing right here. We're in control of when we trade from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm in control of when I am waking up, which is right around 4:30. I am in control of, what are the things I'm going to do after trading. I am in control of when I go to bed. I am in control of my nightly routines. Whether that be good, or admittedly, sometimes I do some bad stuff, but we don't need to get into that. But that's it. Again, it's all about owning the aspects that of my entire life, step by step, day by day, and then build an unbreakable foundation. And that's very keen to an unshakable foundation. Here we are. We went through that storm in this early part of this week with the account being blown. And here we are still trading, doing our thing, testing out some trades, getting ourselves ready for the next trading week yet to come, and not being scared of the ramifications of what happened. And again, that's all about building that unbreakable foundation that allows us to move forward in the right direction. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about execution of this. If we are to go ahead and tackle this mission and understand the situation that we are in, if you do this job to the best of your ability, this will hurt. Because here's the thing, we're breaking out of that comfortability. We're breaking out of the mindset that we have been so comfortable holding on to. And because those things right there are going to be challenged, it is going to be painful in a sense. It's going to hurt a lot. I can say that this pain I still go through from time to time, and yet this pain also feels so gratifying in a way that I'm able to still work on my strengths, work on that fortitude in all things in life. Again, not just trading. And this mission is not about making yourself better. This mission is about being better and having a greater impact in the world. Yeah, so I can easily what I take from that quote, what I take from that line right there is I can easily just do this by myself and easily be able to just be better on my own. But by doing all the things that we're doing right here, I'm not only doing that, but I'm also making an impact on the world because of what I truly believe this opportunity could do for everybody that watches my views. And all that does for me as I watch and as I review them is it points out the weaknesses or the things that I didn't cover in depth on the days before that I can go ahead and do a deep dive on later. So all this combined is for me to understand that the purpose of this journey is not just to record myself doing things, but ultimately giving what I know to the world so that the world can be better. Now, that world may not be the 7 or 8 billion people on this planet. No, I don't expect 7, 8 billion people to watch this. However, if is even one person that is able to take this, be open to trading and do the things they need to do in order to perhaps be a great teacher of their own, be a great master trader on their own, then that job right there is accomplished for me. I've done my purpose. I've done the mission that I was instilled to do, and that's absolutely perfect. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. And it is funny, right? No, I could easily just say, you know what, like I could throw in the towel, especially at the day 15. I could have thrown in the towel. And I don't mean to either break this record or pat myself in the back. I want you to understand, what I take to heart from this book. It's easy for me to have quit on that particular day after just embarrassing myself by blowing that account. But yet here I am still doing the trades, doing the thing, and still teaching, still podcasting, still coaching. So at the end of the day, we're not done. We weren't done on day 15. We're done when the job is done. And when the job is done, which again, I said before on a couple of my episodes, but I want to trade for 200 plus years. I want to do this for 200 plus years. And if that means, 200, 300, 400, 500, I know that's for some of you, that's like me having a third eye on my forehead. But if I could do that, then perfect. Why not? Let's do it. Only the universe can tell me when I have to force myself to stop, right? And when we understand that this is the mission that we are given, when we understand our own true mission in life, then we can understand that everything that has happened before us to now and for the future, what we're doing is we're creating the story of a hero. And that hero isn't me. I'm on my own hero's journey, mind you. And I do consider myself a hero in my story, but I am not the hero in your story. You are the hero in your own story. And we choose and we decide what that heroic story is going to look like for everyone here. So let's keep going. Denial is the ultimate comfort zone. So denial, right? Denial is the fact that, let's talk about some things that can contribute to denial in the forex trading market. Right? So let's do that. Points. And let's even just talk about what's happened in these past 16, 17 days. The market screwed me over. Right? I could easily deny that what happened so far is my responsibility by saying, oh, it's the market, right? The market is going in all these weird, different, interesting directions, and I wasn't able to get a good read. And thus, I wasn't able to compound my account in the right way. Well, that's not necessarily the case. My risk management strategy wasn't perfect, wasn't optimal to what we were doing for the long term. My trading wasn't optimal for the long term. What I was doing wasn't optimal for the long term. And so the point of being is that I was guided towards, hey, there's a better way to do this. There is a much improved process that we can take to move forward in the right direction. So let's not blame the market for this, right? Or two, the tools I was given did not work. It would have been very easy for me to say, oh, the tools didn't work, what we were, our rules on the tools, that wasn't great, so it must be the tools' fault. Well, a couple of things wrong with that. Day one to day 8 was successful. No one can deny that on these recordings, especially since they're published and you can check them out, right? Yet, day 9 and day 15, we used the same tactics and that didn't work out, of course. And I am the one who made those rules. I am the one who said, okay, this is the way that I am trading. And so I have to look at it in that lens because I understand, okay, there was something we did that worked, that we can take some of what we did on phase 1 of the strategy, and we can still incorporate it into what we're doing right now. But of course, now that we are in phase 2, we have to filter out the BS that I used that didn't work, the BS that I created that didn't work. And that's all. And that's a beautiful thought to understand that, you're in control, and you don't have to blame anyone for the results that you create in this forex trading market besides yourself. So, 2 points of denial right there. And what that helps us do is, okay, here's what happened. Day 1 to day 15. Here's what happened. Here's what we're doing right now. This is how we move forward. We all make habitual self-limiting choices. Natural as the sunset and as fundamental as gravity. It's how our brains are wired, which is why motivation is crap, right? So sure, this can be motivating for some people to say, oh, wow, I want to go into Forex trading. But then we have all these limiting beliefs. We have all these choices that we make that don't necessarily help us. And we're still going to keep making those choices regardless, unless we do the things that we know we need to do in order to build the work that we need to do, so that those, and let me go ahead and take this trade, so that we can go ahead and still make so that we can make the habits that are actually going to be beneficial. So what does that mean for us? That's a lot of stuff right there. So let's break that down. Oh, it's not comfortable waking up at 4:30 in the morning for myself. It isn't. And again, no pat on the back. I just want to get to the point of the story. Yet, if I understand that waking up at 4:30 allows me the best time to meditate for a little bit, allows me to get myself in a good, focused, energetic state to where I can talk, to where I can do the things that need to be done so that I can trade, then getting up at 4:30 in the morning works for me. And so that's one because it's easy for me to get up at like 5 o'clock and not have that additional time to prepare. It's a very comfortable and a very soft approach. And it's not just for the days that I trade. I do now. There are times when I fail, right? There are times when I know that I should have gotten up at this time and I didn't, and that's a failure on my part. But for me, it's not about being perfect all the time, and it's not about beating yourself up. Beating yourself up for doing the things that you know you could have done but didn't. It's a matter of, okay, this wasn't done. I take the responsibility. What's next? What's next? I'm not looking at the past. I'm only looking at right now so that I can focus on what's next, so that my vision of tomorrow and beyond is much better. And so while I can give a lot of motivational stuff, I can go rah rah rah. I choose not to, because that's not going to help anybody here. Even the best pep talk of self-help hack is nothing but a temporary fix. Motivation changes exactly nobody. So instead of me going in motivation talk and just going rah 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 and firing up the crowd, while it is very nice, and there are times where perhaps that is needed, that is only a very temporary change to what your situation is currently. If you're not doing the things after that, or if you're not getting yourself the inspiration, or if you're not willing to make the incremental changes that will help you, then the motivation, there's no point. And this goes for me. This goes for anybody that's listening. But more than likely, we're probably living at about 40% of our true capability. And I understand that. I know I'm not truly 100% my highest version of myself. I know the highest version of myself is 60% beyond what I'm truly capable of. And so what we do every day is we work towards how we can become just a little bit better each day. We're not trying to go from 40 to 100% right now, mind you. What we're looking to do is more so, how can we go from 40 to 40.5? Then maybe 40.6, then maybe 40.7. And then we just keep going and going and going and going and going. And do understand, even when you reach your proverbial 100, your higher self is probably leagues above that saying, okay, you're still at 40%, mate. So it's a never-ending process, never-ending growth period. And again, this goes back to a quote that I remember, that's stuck with me. If you're not growing, you're dying. And so understanding the self-realization that we are living at about 40% of what we are truly capable of is an uncomfortable thought to have, but it's also a liberating one as well, because we know that there is so much more work to do, that there is so much more that we can go, that we can get excited about the fact that we can still improve on what we're doing. Anybody can become a totally different person and achieve what so-called experts like him claim is impossible, but it takes a lot of heart, will, and an armored mind, right? It takes heart and willpower to stay in this game for, if you're just, or even a lot of heart and willpower to still be fascinated, be curious about what the Forex market can do for you if you're still watching this, right? Because day 15, again, I don't blame anybody who stopped at day 15 because of what happened. But for those who wanted to keep going and who wanted to say to themselves, including myself, because it does take heart and will to understand, okay, that happened. It's just something that needs to be accepted. It needs to be something that says, okay, that happened. I'm not going to let this derail from what I want to do, from pursuing my dream. And so now we come back to the drawing board after that particular day. And then we come back and we still trade and we still record it. And we still do the things that we are doing now to help us move forward. And it takes heart, will, and also your mindset being, okay, I failed, but I can still keep going. I failed, but I'm not going to let that stop me or that be the end for me. All I'm going to allow it to do is allow that point for me to say that day 16, 17, 18 be a new beginning for me, where I can go ahead and take from what I learned beforehand and what I'll keep continuing to learn in order to push me forward to being the best trader that I could possibly be. Out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters. And we are lucky to have them for they make the battle. But the one is a warrior. So again, this goes back to if you want to call it the hierarchy of the world. I don't even know if that's a thing, but let's go with it. 10% shouldn't even be there. 80% are just targets. 9% are the real fighters. 1% is the true warrior. I truly believe that if you're still here, you are the 1% that is saying to themselves, okay, we took a black eye. Okay, we got a few scrapes, cuts, bruises. Okay, we got punched in the mouth. What are we going to do? We're not going to sit down. We're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on fighting. And we're going to do the things that allow us to keep on going. From the first time you take your first breath, you become eligible to die, right? Anything could happen to us. This whole room can short circuit and I can get, electrocuted. Someone could break in, all this stuff could happen. Not saying that it would, mind you. I'm not trying to put that energy out there, But there are things that are beyond our control that could happen to where I can end up keeling over right now. But I choose not, again, that's me wanting to focus on what's wrong. Hell, with all this, just I don't want to bring world news and events into this, but of course there's this nuclear talk and all that BS. And that I could focus on, get scared, get fearful, say what's the point, but I choose not to focus on that wrong part of the world or that wrong stuff in the world. Instead, you also become eligible to find your greatness and become the one warrior. So it goes back to, okay, we can focus on the fact that we are eligible to die at any point, focusing in on what's wrong, or we can focus in on what's right and understand that there is a true greatness within each and every one of us, and we can become that one warrior that we seek to pursue in ourselves. Only you, not me, not any life coach that you listen to after, either before or after me, only you can master your mind, which is that what it takes to live a bold life filled with accomplishments most people consider beyond their capability. Only us can dictate what happens. Only us can dictate, okay, I choose to have my mind focus on the things that I want to focus on. I choose to focus on greatness instead of average or below average. I choose to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. I choose to focus on what's right and not what's wrong. And I choose to focus on my present and my future vision rather than my past failures and past depression. And excuse me. Illuminate a proven path to self-mastery and empower you to face reality, hold yourself accountable, push past pain, learn to love what you fear, relish failure, live to your fullest potential, and find out who you really are. And here we are. Here we are. We're pushed past our failures from the past couple of weeks. We're pushing past that pain of the losses we have taken. We have pushed past the pain of, or at least my pain of, being humiliated, in a sense. And I find myself here still talking, still trading, and still wanting to learn this skill. And this isn't just from, of course, this point. There have been multiple failures in Forex trading, and yet here we are. Here I am still doing this right here throughout all that. And again, it's not the easiest journey. I don't expect anyone to understand, I remember at the World Summit, there was this incredible speaker, and I know I've written his name somewhere, but I don't have that with me. But he shared this story, and I thought to myself, whoa, I could totally understand now where this is coming from, or the power of that message. But he basically was at I believe it was a eyeglass store, eye vision store, whatever you want to call it. And he was looking at the glasses he was going to wear, and I believe he was with his wife at the time. And he got glasses, she got glasses, and they both tried out each other's glasses. And what they realized is that they both couldn't see what the other could see. Right? Let me repeat that. They both couldn't see what the other could see. And so what we have to understand is that our vision and how we choose to perceive Forex marketing, Forex trading, is your vision and your vision alone. I can't see what you can see. You can't see what I can see. And I'm I'm not here to change your vision. I'm not here to truly convert your vision to something else. My job is to illuminate my path to this and see if that helps you build your vision or not. Human beings change through study, habit, and stories. You will learn what the body and mind are capable of when they're driven to maximum capacity and how to get there. We're all driven to do something. Now, part of that is going to come through just experience, just practicing what you can practice already. Part of it is stuff that we all need to learn. Part of it is the habits that we have right at this particular moment that we know need to change in order for us to grow into the best person that we can be. And also part of it is the stories that we can learn, the books that we can learn from some of the people that we aspire to be, that can help clue in on what we're missing and what we can do in order to guide ourselves in the right direction. I'm just taking a look right here. I realize I haven't been taking a look at any of these pairs, but there doesn't seem to be a signal right now, so we'll keep on going from there. When you're driven, whatever it is in front of you becomes fuel for your metamorphosis. So imagine that these obstacles, in present time. So just come back to when I was at just recording myself on day 1 and day 2. I can imagine myself coming back and just recording day 1, day 2, day 3, etc. I knew the particular challenges I faced back then, and I know now the challenges I face right now. And I know there will be challenges that I will face in the future. And yet all that will do for me is that it will allow me to become a a better person. And it takes work. I'm not going to lie. It does take work, but if you can understand what is beyond the challenge, if you can understand or see what happens now that you've gone through this and have made it out the other side, then that challenge, whatever it is, whether it's trading or something in life, it becomes fuel for the growth and transformation that lies that lies beyond you. So with that being said, let's look at some things that we can, and we won't do this right now. I'll make this more so a homework assignment, if you will, or an action step that we can take to really know ourselves. First, let's go over some questions that we can write down, and things that I will discuss at a later time. What was your bad hand? What kind of, and again, this is a very much a show that I don't mind pulling out the what do I like to call the explicit dialogue, if you will. What kind of bullshit did you contend with growing up? Were you beaten, abused, bullied? Did you ever feel insecure? Or maybe your limiting factor is that you grew up so much, so supported and comfortable, you never pushed yourself. So let's do this. I mean, again, I know that we're mainly here for the trading, what's going on. We also need to understand that a lot of these questions, if we can answer, can only help us see the things that we need to work on internally in order to be able to do the trading that we're doing right now. So it is important to understand what these questions are. And however you choose to answer it, that is yours. You don't, though, if you can write these down, if you can reflect on these questions, and if you can tackle them step by step, brick by brick, day by day, then you're already doing the work that is required that the warrior will do. So you're that 1% that will do the work. So those are my first sets of questions. Now, here's some other ones that we can answer for ourselves as well. What are the current factors limiting your growth and success? Is someone standing in your way at work or school? Are you underappreciated and overlooked for opportunities? What are the what are the long odds you're up against now? Are you standing in your own way? Again, more questions that you don't have to address right now, but are important questions to address for yourself at a later point in time. Because by answering these questions, no matter how painful the answer is, it can only help to heal and help you rather than hurt you. And the thing about it is you don't want to leave anything out. Tell it like it is. And we just want to give this incredibly vulnerable, incredibly honest answer in its full shape in order to really just flesh out what is wrong, grab, take everything and just put it in there. And then also understand that that is just the past, or understand that it's just what we're working with now, but that will not dictate what your future holds for you. And the story can only be used to fuel the ultimate success that we're creating. And again, you can either share the story with people or acknowledge it, accept it personally, or privately, I should say. And this act alone will begin to empower you to overcome that challenge, overcome those limiting beliefs, overcome that past, so that your only focus would be on the present and on the future. And with that being said, it's not a again, I'll say this, that that within itself is not easy. That itself with what we're doing is not easy, especially because a lot of you have been able to see what I've been doing, what was right. And also we've been able to see what is wrong as well. And I just see that there is a sell opportunity that popped up for gold for me. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that in about 4 minutes. And we also have to work on another sell for gold against the United States dollar, gold against the euro. So we got 2 trades in the wheelhouse. But if we think about it, this journey isn't the easiest thing to do. Yet anything that we desire, or anything that we desire shouldn't be easy. Because if that was the case, then everybody would be doing it. If that was the case, then I'd have, obviously, not to be Captain Obvious, but I would obviously have a lot more viewers. But again, I don't want that. What I want specifically is people who are interested in the skill of Forex trading, watching a progression of where we've come from day 1 until day 17 and beyond, and start to take that within themselves to say, oh yeah, that's definitely me, or oh yeah, that's definitely something that I can do. And again, we understand that there are going to be times where we get hurt, times where we get smacked, times where we're absolutely wrong. And, there are going to be eyeball widening moments where it's like, what were you thinking? Kind of moments. I've already experienced some of those. I've experienced some of those. And yet it's liberating to also know that there's much more to go than just beyond that. Much more to say, you know what? Even although all that happened, and even as I continue to learn and grow, these days aren't a waste. These days are just saying to myself, okay, you're still bringing up some valuable teaching points. Again, this is my mindset. You're still bringing up some valuable teaching points. You're still giving the people what they need, as well as teaching an overall course of what they want, which again is that financial success, freedom, that financial success. And as long as I put that within my prerogative, as long as I put that within my frame of work, then no matter what happens, win or lose, we keep moving forward. And so, again, any trade, and that's with any trade, anything that we do on this day or the next future days, I do know that within my vision, that we're still moving forward in the right direction, even if it doesn't seem it like it now. And that's going to be very important as we keep doing this particular climb together. Again, nothing ever comes easy. If you truly desire what you want, or if you truly desire the things that you desire, if that makes sense, then it should not come easy. It should come with work. It should come with doing the things that we don't want to do, the habits that we don't want to break. And yet at the same time, we know it's a work in progress, a culture of progress. And you don't have to be right or get it right all the time. Just understand what wasn't right and just work on it. And that's a sell. Then we just come over here and that's a sell too. Okay, perfect. So we got some trades going on right here. Oof, just taking a look right here. Okay. I'll close that trade right there. Okay, so we're kind of waiting on. So we just got about 30 pips on gold right there. That's why I closed that one particular trade that we just opened up. And then now we've got other golds, as we'll call it, gold two, or thing one, thing two, gold one, gold two. No, sometimes. But we can see that we're in that trade as well. We're just waiting to see what the results will be for that. So we got that all in the wheelhouse, so to speak. And now we are just wanting to see how these trades play out. And so it is a funny thing if we think about it. As we go through and we collect this experience. Again, experience is the valid experience that we get from this is that we are doing the trades, even if it's on a demo or reel. It doesn't matter what type of account it is, because what we're doing is that we are practicing our strategy and practicing what it's going to take in order to be that master trader. Because I do envision, again, an army, an absolute army of master traders doing what I'm doing right here, being very successful at it, and then taking that success and instilling it in one way or another to give back to the world. Now, again, you don't have to do that. I'm not saying that, hey, you are forced to give back to the world. I'd love it if you do, but I'm not going to instill that upon you. Whatever giving in the world is to you, whatever that inner peace is to you, whatever that unshakable mindset is to you, that's yours and yours alone. That goes back to vision. Your vision is your vision alone. And so I can't see what that looks like for you. All I can do is envision or imagine that whatever that is for you is one of a higher purpose, is one of a lighter purpose, that we go more so towards the light side of things and more so the dark. And again, I also have my own vision of what light and dark is. And you may not understand or know what that vision is like. And so in a more altruistic sense, and for me to just get to the damn point, if you pursue what you deem to be true and good in your own self, in your own faith, in your own belief, then that's really what I want from you to take from this journey, and how being successful in this journey can help you get towards that lighter path a little bit more. And as a matter of speaking, as far as teaching that vision to people, again, it's not just for the traders I want to aspire, but family, friends, people with passions that I have not been grateful to meet yet, because I'll be grateful to meet a lot of people in my life that will have all these different passions, all these different ideas, but don't necessarily know the way to get that done or get that started. I would more than love to instill some sort of my wisdom, even if I'm not in their particular field. Whether I can give a piece of advice, in terms of just doing the work, or having the drive, or having the willpower, or having the belief, having the faith. It doesn't have to be necessarily resources from the material world that we have to give. I believe in the grand scheme of things. So just kind of going back to, my world, or what we're learning here, there are really 4 elements in life, and 4 elements in Forex trading, that we can go ahead and we can pluck away and use that to build what I like to call a bridge, if you will, a better bridge. Now, for me, that particular bridge would go as follows. Of course, we've got the earthly material realm. So, of course, making the money, making the trades, getting the profit and sticking that to my account. That's definitely what I would consider the earthly realm. And then after the earthly realm, there comes okay, what's the strategy? What are the ideas? What are the concepts that we can learn in order to get better? That's what I call the air realm. That's what I call the things that you can do in your mind or come from your mind that allow you to get better. So, building the strategies, building the key concepts, the key components to how we plan to tackle this market. That's what I consider the air realm. Then we've got the emotional realm. Like by doing all of this, by being successful, by giving back in a way to everyone that needs help because we've been so successful, how does that make you feel inside? How does that vision of yours where you see yourself being able to do all the things that you want to do for yourself, how does that make you feel? Like, does that open your heart a little bit to understanding that your vision can help so many damn people who need help? So that's what I call the water side of everything. And then, of course, the actions we're doing, the willpower, the I'm not giving up mentality, the underdog mentality, the one who gets beaten and gets back up. That's the fire mentality. That's the mentality that says to yourself, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the trades. I'm going to build the experience. I'm going to build the muscle needed to be a successful trader. That's the fire element to all this. So again, just to recap, the earth element is, of course, the profits that we're gaining, the material that we're collecting from trading, the strategies, concepts, ideas that we are doing in order to improve what we're already doing. That's the air element of this. The understanding the emotions of winning these trades and understanding the emotions of, well, that hurt and it's, and I need to recover, and I need to understand the vision, what's the reason I'm doing this, and what's the why coming into place, and how can this really impact, and how would I feel if I was able to accomplish all this. That's the water side of things, element side of things. And then just doing the work, taking the trades, getting the experience, and not quitting on ourselves. That is the fire element in all this. And if we can be what I like to call the avatar, and for those who know the show points to you, if we could be the avatar in the Forex market, if we could be the avatar in understanding, okay, we collect the things, we build the strategy, we get the emotions that we want because we know how important this is to the people who may not be able to be open to this or may need our help when we're very successful. And then we know we need to put the work in, we need to do the work, gain the experience, and keep going. If we can master all those elements, if we can do that, that's another key component or a key piece to becoming that master trader. And again, just like in the show Avatar, the Avatar, Aang wasn't, the guy. He wasn't the Avatar right at episode 1. No, it was a journey of needing to understand all these elements and collect all these skills and be able to develop on his skills even more to where he was able to become the avatar. So for a lot of us, we may start in one element first before we can focus on the other elements. So for example, for me, I'm more so the fire guy. I just do the action. I just do the experience. I just put the work in. I don't give up. All right. So I start out as the fire element, but then I have to understand, okay, in that, now that I've got the fire, you know, I have to expand my thinking to, okay, how do the markets actually work? What does making profit actually mean? How am I able to sustain and build upon that profit that I am collecting, or the wins that I'm collecting, or what do I, how does just making the money work? As I just closed that trade right there. So we closed so every trade so far, just to recap, we took about, I want to say 3 or 4 open gold trades versus the United States dollar. Then we made one open gold versus euro trade. We just closed the one on gold versus euro for 30 pips. Then we closed about, I want to say 2 or 3 on gold versus the United States dollar, of course. So I just want to give everybody a quick recap on that. So coming back. So if I've got the fire to understand, okay, I'm doing the actions, I'm gaining the experience, I've got the willpower, and now I need to build on, okay, what is, making this money mean in the financial world, profit and all that, the numbers. What's that going? How does that translate into a bigger balance? How can I build upon that? That's the earth element that I had to develop. Then it's about developing, okay, what's the best strategy to use my actions and to build the best profit that I can? So now I'm using the air element to only help build upon the earth and element that I need, and also the fire element that I already have. And then we tie it back into the water element side, where it's like, okay, the emotions of doing this, of giving back, of, being successful and being able to do the things that I really want to do, those emotions will only help in terms of keeping me going and keeping my energy refreshed and vitalized as I still develop the strategies, as I still develop the numbers, and as I build upon that experience. That's what I mean by it all tying together. You need all 4 elements, and we all need to be avatars in the Forex market in order to be the best. We need that action. We need the numbers and building upon the numbers. We need the strategy. We need the emotions in order for it all to work out. And so, of course, that's a lot of information. I realized that we just went, and I realized that was a very much I don't know if it was a higher level concept, but it was certainly an out there concept. And so I really do want to break that down a bit more later as we move forward throughout the journey. But do know right now that as far as just coming back to the present, coming back to where we are at right now, we have got we've got a now buy arrow. Okay, that buy arrow the buy arrow just appeared. So this is a very interesting, I don't know if I've ever run into this situation, but now we've got a buy arrow that we want to go ahead and, okay, that arrow is disappearing. So I'm curious to see how this candle closes in the next, was it 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 seconds, and seeing what actually happens when that comes into play for us. So we got about 6, 5, 4, oh, okay, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so did not, the buy arrow did not stay. So I'm going to take that as I'm not going to trade on that. We did get a buy arrow for platinum right there. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Okay, I think I'll just take a buy trade. There you go. I just took a buy trade on platinum. So we'll let that go. And then as far as everything else, that's everything else. Okay. So a lot of things just happen right there. So I mean, I'm just making sure that I've got everything situated. Okay. But again, when we really think about, just understanding all the elements that we need to master in Forex trading, we do need to understand that that's not going to come to us all right away. In fact, there's a lot of information that's already been processed or that has been told, or a lot of teaching that has been passed throughout these 17, 18 days that I don't expect everyone to get it all right away. And so I do adhere by the principle of Kaizen, where it's one day at a time, one step at a time, where one piece at a time. That's really going to help you grow. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to get it done all at once. Understand where you're at. Understand, okay, what is going to help me move forward the best? And then just work on that as all the other pieces come into play. And when you're able to do that, that takes so much of the pressure and that takes so much of the burden out of you. And again, it gives you a sense of freedom that you have the power to get what you need to get done. And when you put it into that perspective, it helps you grow as the warrior, as the avatar that you desire to be when trading in these markets. Okay, everybody. So right now we are just going through some of our trades that we have going on here at the present moment. So we got platinum, we got a buy trade that's opened up that is going through its process. We've got gold right here. It's still going through the 2 open trades that I have on it. So that's all moving in its particular direction. And again, what we're doing right here is we're building experience on these particular accounts, and it will only help us in terms of just growing, just working with what's going to work for us, and also working with what is not going to work for us. So that is all going to come in time as we move forward. So as far as just looking at these markets, right, or what is the game plan, right? Well, we do know that so far we only had really one trade on platinum on the 15-minute time frame yesterday. So that was a very, very short episode because there wasn't a whole lot going on. Now we can see that these episodes a little bit longer just because we have a few trades. And again, our concept is, okay, what we're doing right here on the 15-minute time frame. And I was reflecting on this yesterday as I was just walking away from my trading desk, and I realized we do want consistent opportunities. And I was actually reviewing some of the people that trade on the 5-minute time frame in gold, and there is success in there. So more so what I'm looking to do is I'm still looking to trade on the 5-minute time frame, but now I need to understand, okay, we obviously can't do what we did before because as Albert Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So to avoid that particular insanity, what can we do better that would allow us to move forward in the right direction? Well, one thing that I've learned is the fact that we didn't have a lot of open trades in the grand scheme of things so far on the 15-minute time frame for all of our pairs. Well, Platinum does have a few more pairs, but of course we're still kind of figuring out how this guy works. So that's more so a work in progress, more so than anything. But getting back to the point, what can we do in terms of, having the strategy work out for us a little bit better? And one of the things that, again, we've learned is not to have too many open trades so far, just looking at the grand scheme of things. And so can we translate that now towards the 5-minute time frame? And so, of course, I would like another week to work on that. Of course, I still want to finish out this week on the 15-minute time frame so that, I'm not blowing smoke out of my what. But what we can do so far, what we are seeing right now, is that there are promising results. And so now, going back to what we want to focus on now, we have the action that we're doing, but now we want to understand, okay, how can we build upon this, and how can our strategy be tweaked even more so in order to generate that sustainability that we're looking for in the market? And again, just taking a look at what's already been going on, we're already doing the things that are needed to keep our proverbial experience in the game. And now we just want to tweak those things to make it even better so that we can improve the process even further. And that's really, and that's the thing with Forex trading, is that we know, we had a foundation. We're building upon this foundation. And just because we're in phase 2 right now doesn't mean there'll be a phase 3, or doesn't mean there'll be a phase 4 or a phase 5. Those phases are coming, but we have to fully understand what phase 2 is going to bring us, so that when we implement phase 3, it'll be absolutely amazing. And again, that's where keeping a trading journal, or even just recording yourself like this and taking the trades and just talking, explaining what's going on. You may not desire to do this in a podcast type setting, or heck, you may not even want to publish your results like this to the world. But even keeping a log like this, just something that you can review, take notes on, see, oh, that was great, oh, that was crap, oh, we can leave that in. We can do this. Oh, we need to take this out. We don't need to do any of what just happened there. Those questions that will ultimately be answered as you do your own reviews, as you log your own trades and go back on them. Sort of what I like to call back testing, but the videos that you're watching are what you would consider back testing. That can help you in terms of getting your trades done, or at least making sure that you're keeping yourself accountable to your results and keeping yourself accountable to the continuous improvement, the continuous growth that you see in yourself. Just kind of looking at some of these trades right here. Okay. But again, it all will come full circle as you start to do this a bit more. And just keep my eye out on gold versus euro, because that looks like it's about to, is that going to give us an opportunity? Is it? Let's see. The high point was at 1703.01. The high point was at 1703.06. So just a few decimal points off right there. But we got about 3 minutes before that candle closes, so we'll see. But it's all relative. And again, in order to focus on that vision of yourself from going to phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3 to phase 4 to phase 5, and to continuously improve on your trading, even if you get hurt, demo or real, that's where that emotional fortitude of just staying in and bracing yourself for that pain and leading yourself into that pain and being able to still be comfortable with taking that uncomfortable action. That's where the growth comes in. And again, I'm not here to, again, you've seen me blow my account a couple of times, not a couple of times, I'm sorry. You've seen me blow my account once after blowing my accounts multiple times in the past. And yet we're still doing this. We're still doing this trading because we know of the opportunities, we know of the good, we know of the potential this has for each and every one of us if we're able to just break through that proverbial brick wall, that proverbial thing that's holding us back, and can allow us to move forward in the right direction. And again, the right direction, it doesn't mean that we're making $1 million in a day right now. No, it could certainly be a reality. It could certainly be something that we could envision doing. But the right direction, what it means to us is that we're doing the things right now that can allow us to just incrementally improve as we continue this journey. Because as we continue this journey, good, bad, or otherwise, we're still able to take away from something from each day that allows us to get better in the game, that allows us that little bit of experience in the game to allow us to tweak, to improve or optimize the plan. And again, my plan might be different from your plan, but the plan in place to get us to the right outcome, the right end goal, the right result. Let me just see here. Okay. Woo. A lot of stuff right there. Okay. Okay. So we got this buy signal coming in from platinum. So that trade is going in that direction right there. We've got gold still kind of in that vicinity. And it looks like our sell arrow did indeed move up a little bit. So I want to see how this candle closes in the next 15 minutes in order to determine if we are going to make that trade or not. We still got some other things that are going on right here. So we're allowing that to help us move forward in the right direction. And don't mind me. But again, we're here still doing the trades. It's about, I think I said it was day 17. I think it's day 18. Yeah, day 15 would have been Monday. 16 would be Tuesday. 17 would have been Wednesday. It's right now day 18. And we're still here. Even after all of what happened between days 1 and day 17, still doing our thing. And that's really the beauty of the simplicity of it all, is even after those days, even after what had happened, we're still here doing what we love, or at least doing what I love. And if we can hold on to that love, if we can hold on to that emotion, well, that's just another key crucial component in how all of those elements, the fire, the earth, the air, and the water, how it all comes together to seamlessly blend into the world of Forex trading that we're creating. And again, that was a deep dive before. We'll talk more about that later and break that down a bit more as we move forward. But at least for right now, we can at least get those little pieces of nuggets, build upon those little pieces of information, and we all collectively will grow as traders. All right, everybody, I just wanted to come back just before the close of these accounts right here. We're still in the sell trade for gold, still working on finding something for silver. We're still in a buy trade for platinum, and now we just got ourselves into a sell trade for gold versus the euro. So that is the update I want to go ahead and give. And of course, I'll still be following these trades and providing an update as to what we do from here moving forward. All right, everybody. So I just want to come back to the charts here for just a second. So I believe we were able to catch the tail end of me taking the gold versus euro trade, that sell. If we did not, I apologize, but I did go ahead and take that trade, and we were able to close with a 30 pips in profit win right there. Platinum. Oh, there we go. Platinum. I was able to, so that's why you got to be quick on the trigger. It did say that I got 30 pips in profit when I was about to close the X. Then it turned to about 25. I'm not going to complain about that. Again, it is still a victory, but we did take a winning trade on platinum to bring our equity balance up a little bit. Still not where we need to be, but we're moving forward in the right direction there. And then for gold, ultimately, I had the arrow disappeared, or my sell text disappeared. So I did end up hedging those two trades. And so we are working with we're able to win some trades, but we also lost some trades as well. And again, this is all going to help us compound and make sure that we're tweaking our strategy using the right strategies in order to move forward. And of course, we'll still be in this market for the next hour and 45 minutes. And if I do have another trade for you, we will certainly go ahead and make sure we cover that. All right, everybody, we are back, and I'm here just to give some closing words, as really we haven't had a trade opportunity after those last trades that we took earlier this morning. So we're going to go ahead and make this our closing piece, if you will, for day 18 of our incredible Forex journey together, both you and I. And we have learned, we took some wins, we took some losses, and at the end of it all, we are continuously learning, continuously improving our craft so that we can move forward on these next days. Sorry, on these next days of the journey together with more confidence, more power, and more capabilities, and most importantly, more belief in each and every one of us that we can indeed get this done together. So with that being said, I wish everyone a fantastic rest of your day. Looking forward to recording and capturing, of course, day 19 tomorrow, and we will take it from there. Everybody, happy trading.